All right. So it's clear to me that some things in 2K will never change. Now I would say this. I'm gonna say it again. 2K22 is probably significantly better than 21. As much shit as I talk about 2K, 22 is a far better quality game. All right, but just like any 2K, it cheats. All right, so check it out. Now I want to go for a spin. So I break the double team, which was nice. That was a nice little move. I love doing that. Shit, even the camera fucked up. Yeah, I want to break the double team, which I did. Got him to reach. And so I spin off, try to get to the basket. And here, right here, is something that I see in pretty much all of the most recent 2Ks, which is if you're spinning on someone in the post, and let's say you actually got the spin and you got the clear path to the basket, the algorithm, when it wants to stop you from doing that, it'll just erect this invisible force field right in front of you, like this right here. Just look at it from the side, close up again. Where I'm going, I spin on my way to the basket, and boom, I'm forced to stop. You see that moment where it's like I'm going, my momentum is going forward, but boom, on a dime, I'm forced to stop. And upon doing that, I also get the turnover. All right, because I wanted to try to see if I could possibly force my way through it, seeing as how they just arbitrarily stopped me. Because look at this, it's not that he's stopping me. He's not in front of me. It's the algorithm that's getting in the way, like, no, you can't go any further than that. Right? Because you got the post spin, you could abuse it all day. You can abuse it all day. That's why a lot of times if you do a post move, you'll notice when you hit the spin and you're on your way to the basket, you'll notice your player starts to get more lethargic. He starts to move a little slower, or he just completely just stop going forward, like what just happened right here. Even when you got the spin and the player is behind you, you just successfully made your way to the basket. You would notice sometimes uh it's like you start to move in molasses, like in quicksand, and it's like wow. And the purpose of doing that is to prevent you from just abusing the post spin because they don't have an answer for it. All right, especially if you got a decent post control player versus somebody that's not a good post up defender, you could abuse a post spin on them all day. They can't stop you. I mean, 100% of the time you could post spin and you'll be on your way to the basket if they don't have post defense. So the algorithm's way of preventing you from just doing that all day is this right here. Boom, where you just stop. You're running and you just stop. Now, this was also a forced turnover because what was forced to happen was that I picked the ball up and I'm forced into throwing it and doing this unnatural animation that does not make sense. I'm forced to throw the ball against his back. It doesn't make sense to do that. I'm going forward. Just dribble the ball, continuing in a straight path. Why was that necessary? But once again, they put things like that in the game just to be blunt about it, is to cheat the user. That's the objective of the algorithm in 2K, is to enforce what it wants to happen and to aid the computer in being able to compete by cheating the user. All right, so they have these narratives, these gimmicks, these theatrical predetermined outcomes. It's just a lot of things that's arbitrarily enforced and imposed on you in the game that's not natural. It's not just a natural, free flowing game where you just do what you want and the outcome is the outcome based upon your intelligence, your ability to play, and your basketball IQ. A lot of what goes on is just based upon what the algorithm wants, right? If the algorithm does not want you to score from three, you'll miss 4 or 5 threes in a row. If they want the computer to go on a run, unless you block their shot, they're going to score pretty much every time unless you're able to smother them without fouling them, which is damn near impossible if they're on a momentum swing and on a run, or unless you block their shot. But anything else that they do, whatever they put up is going to go in. If you don't block it, they're going to make it. They're gonna make it. If it's a algorithm induced run, right? But once again, I'd say go and get it. 2K22 is much better than 21 so far. Before the patches and the updates, you can see the update on my screen. I'm scared to get the fucking update because I don't know what kind of fuck shit they threw in there already. So once again, it's a far better game. It's far superior to 2K21. All right, it actually feels like basketball rather than you being managed, restricted, and controlled, and you can run this way or run that way freely. Being overly saturated with animations, there's far more. The defense is far more rewarding, right? It's far easier to cut off passes if your timing is right. Versus in 2K21, if you were going to cut off a pass, it was basically based upon whether or not the algorithm was going to allow you to do it. It was going to grant you and reward your good timing and your good defense. It's far more consequential now. All right. I wanted to actually show a play I did when I cut off an alley hoop. It was an alley hoop that I know if it was 2K21, I would have never been allowed to cut it off. It would have never happened. But it's pretty straight. It's pretty straight. It's still 2K though. You already know what to expect with 2K. But anyway, peace.